All right, so I'm here with my client Alan today. Alan, you were my dating client to begin with, now in my personal development coaching for the last few months, and undergone a pretty significant transformative change. A lot of it, internal in your heart, in your mind, in your emotions. Thank you here, first of all, for just coming here and sharing your story. So thanks for that. Can you walk us through, yeah, where you began a couple of months ago when we started? Like, where were you emotionally? Where were you with your life overall? What were the things that you were looking to make a change on?
I think emotionally, I had a lot of fear in my life at the time. I think there was a lot of things that I was uncertain about. I felt stuck in a sense, in that I knew that I was capable of, I guess, a lot just based on previous experiences, but also because of previous experiences, like,
Hmm.
just things that haven't turned out right and that sort of thing. I've also developed a lot of beliefs and blockages, emotional blockages that sort of made it internally difficult to make decisions or to, I
Okay,
guess, try again in a sense.
sure.
You've been knocked down 2 to 3 times and you want to get back up, but it's just harder and harder to do that. So I
Hmm.
felt that lot of internal resistance, and I think a lot of people do as well. And that's basically why I signed up, was to help with that. Obviously, there's a dating side of things, and that's where a lot of it shows up.
Okay,
But as we all know, life isn't as simple as one sector. It's kind of like what's happening here is probably going to happen everywhere else as well. And
there you go.
that was the
There you
case with my
go. Hmm.
fitness, with my career, income, that sort of stuff as well. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things that I just really wanted to tackle. And that's why I was here.
Yeah, good, man. And that's the initial feeling that I got from you too, is just this overwhelming feeling of stuckness or like repeating a cycle or just hitting a wall over and over and not, in your own words, from what I remember, not reaching your, full potential of what you had tasted before. Um,
Correct.
so give us like a look beneath the surface, right? Because if that's what you were feeling, what were the areas of your life where this was manifesting at the time? Like, what did it look like on the
Mm.
surface level?
So I think just, I guess, a lot, well, actually, I shouldn't say a lot. Very little energy just in general
Okay.
with life, right? And I
Hmm.
think one of the things that you pointed out when I first spoke with you was just that I was just very low energy and just
Yeah.
dragging sentences along. And you would try to give me points on things, and you had to repeat them so many times just because in my brain it was just not accepting any information at the time. Um,
Hmm.
and so, yeah, that's basically on the surface, that's how it appeared just in person. I think there were many times where I would be afraid to do something because in my mind, again, it's like internal resistance, like, don't do it. If you
Hmm.
do it, you're just going to crash and burn. What's the point?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, I think, yeah, there's a lot of internal resistance, a lot of hesitation, a lot of not
Hmm.
doing things that I wanted to do deep down just
What were some of
because I
these things?
had that emotion. Sorry, is that? What was
What
that?
were some of these things that you were afraid to do?
So in the career sense, if I was trying to do something, if there was resistance, I'd give up and I'd be
Okay.
deflated like right away.
Yeah.
So I'd give up easily. I'd get
Hmm.
frustrated more easily. And yeah, it just doesn't, I take a lot longer to do things than I would normally be able to do if I wasn't
Hmm.
concerned with all that emotional crap.
Okay.
Um, on the fitness side of things, I sort of let myself slip. Like I knew I was eating like crap. I knew I should not be stuffing my face with donuts and all the crap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I think in a way, because I felt so unfulfilled at the time, and I felt like I was a fraction, a shadow of my former self. And I knew that I was the reason holding myself back. I felt so bad about myself that I was chasing that dopamine kick from
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
eating crap junk foods and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever it is, like games, all that sort of stuff. Um, and I think more importantly, just the relationship side of things. I think I was in a relationship at the time, and I knew she wasn't the best fit for me at the time. Just in terms of our communication styles and how we process things, how we see the world. Everything else was fine, and that's what kept me around. Um, but yeah, I think deep down I knew that it wasn't the right fit, even though I had feelings for her and I cared for her. We weren't the right fit, and I just had to make that decision. And it's not an easy one, especially when it's your first one, a serious one.
Yep.
And so, yeah, like that was eating away at me for months and months and months and months. And yeah, that also just me not making a decision on what's right and sort of like staying in a relationship out of fear
There you
that leaked over into all the other areas of my life as well. And it just
go.
compounded what I just said in the last 3 minutes. Like just
Yeah.
the slowness, the lack of energy, the inability to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
And sort of just going through the motions week by week, day by day, hour by hour, and yeah, that kind of thing. So that's basically what was happening at the time.
Yeah, dude. And it's crazy. Like, you know, it feels like a memory. It feels like a distant memory. Like that low vibration energy version of you. Because right now, even before we were talking about this, you were kind of like trying to remember where you even came from. And of course, there's still more work to do. We both know that. But like, at least from my objective, like outer perspective, I can feel the energetic difference, the light on your face, the body language when you show up even on the calls. I know you're in a different place in your life. Um, what are some of the surface level changes that have happened over the course of us working together in terms of your, relationship, your social life, your fears? What are the things that have actually changed physically?
I guess with the relationship thing, I had a very tough period of just, making the decision, going back and forth in my own mind. Yeah, but finally making the decision, finally communicating it, and really thinking about how I communicate it as well in a way that's respectful.
Hmm.
And obviously emotions were in the air, things were not pleasant, and I took, a few weeks to grieve, I guess the process but in a sense, it's actually become better because now we're both on the same page,
Yeah.
and we're communicating more, but we're making it very clear what the expectations are, and we're winding it down. It's coming to a completion. Um, so I don't really see it as a breakup. I see it as a completion of the relationship. I
Hmm.
took many lessons away from it. One of them being this, facing my fears, going straight
Yeah.
through the fear instead of
Yeah.
just avoiding it and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, yeah, that's probably a major one. Um, I actually forgot what the question is, but what was the question? Sorry.
Yeah, that was about your relationship. What about, your social life, or what other fears have you faced? How has your physical life changed?
Yeah. I'm consistent with my workouts. I'm not the most consistent with my diet just yet, but overall, I know when I've gone too far and I've dialed it back and
Hmm.
I'll sort of like stick to a routine. So it's not picture perfect, it's not 100% score all the way, but I'd say it ranges between the 70 to 80 mark nowadays.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and some weekends are atrocious, but that's only because there's like social plans and that sort of stuff, and I kind of let
Sure.
myself enjoy it more. Um, yeah, I in general, like right now, just from me speaking on the camera, you can probably tell that I've got more energy. I'm sleeping a lot faster. The coffee from
Hmm.
this morning probably helps. But yeah, I've just I feel fuller. I feel lighter at the same time. So fuller in the
Yeah.
sense that I've got more things happening in my life. I've
Hmm.
taken the initiative to, do new things, meet new people, take on new hobbies, be a noob all over again with something new, like a new
Yeah.
skill set or that kind of thing. Um, one of the goals that I've tried to work on for a long time is like becoming more socialized, like
Yeah.
social and sort of like
Yeah.
arranging things. So
Uh-huh.
I've taken the initiative to do stuff like that as well. And it feels, interestingly enough, more exciting to me now. I used to dread it. And now it's just like, oh yeah, like I've got all these like hobbies and stuff that I'm doing now. And it just feels easier to invite somebody into my world as opposed
Hmm.
to me begging to join somebody else's.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I
Yep.
think, yeah, so it feels fuller in that sense, but it also feels lighter because I've worked on so many internal resistant beliefs, limiting beliefs that have held me back in my worldview.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be honest, like in the time that we've worked together, we've only worked on like a handful. And they're the big ones. Don't get me wrong. Like some of them were big, fat, juicy
Hmm.
ones that,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
took a long time to
Uh-huh.
overcome.
Limiting beliefs.
Um, yeah, limiting beliefs, just beliefs that didn't serve me at
Yeah.
all, beliefs that kept me small. Um, But I think, yeah, like there's many more to come. And instead of like dreading to approach them, I'm actually excited. I can't wait for them to come up, for me to identify them, and then just
Uh-huh.
to tackle them head on.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, one of the main takeaways from this whole interaction with you, Alex, is learning to differentiate between the voice in my head and what I subconsciously believe.
Hmm.
And yeah, sometimes I'll say something and I'll know immediately. 'Cause I have that consciousness around the feeling. I know that my heart sinks. I'm like, hold on, something's up here.
Yep.
Something's wrong. And I go, I need to write that down. I need to work on it. And yeah, just being more conscious of that right now and having a little bit more energy to approach it is, I guess, what is the most exciting about this. So yeah, in that sense, fuller and also lighter at the same time.
That's amazing, dude. Fuller in the sense of you're inviting more things into your life and you're also jumping into more things. And then lighter
Hmm.
because you've let go of negative programming. You've let go of negative limiting beliefs that were holding you down.
Yeah.
You're like a balloon that's free of this lead weight and you're lighter now. You're floating easier. Um, and that's awesome, man. That's really everything in self-improvement for me comes down to mindset, which is what you were just talking about right now, like being conscious of the voices in your head, what they're telling you, whether they're serving you or not. And if they're not, unprogramming them so that they no longer create outcomes in your life that you really don't desire. That's the core of everything, of building your dream life, your dream self, your dream everything. Um, yeah, just for the sake of time here, since we have a limit, what would you say in conclusion to anybody who may be considering working with me through, these sort of challenges or through this program specifically?
If you know something's off and you know you need a bit of a kick up the butt, but from somebody who actually cares about your results and your outcomes, and you're not afraid to face that part of yourself, because that is a step
Mm,
in itself, is to make that decision, is to make that commitment, is to face even criticism, or if it's not criticism, but like feedback from somebody else.
yeah.
That, yeah, if you're willing to do that, then this is worth it. Um, yeah, and you may not get immediate results, right? Like these internal things, especially if you never worked on them before, they're fucking hard to deal with, right? And to
Yeah, yeah.
face, even for someone who's been in personal development like me for so long, like there are some that are really just difficult to push through.
Hmm.
And in those moments, it's really, really helpful to have an external third party person, someone like Alex, who kind of like helps you almost reel you back to, okay, hold on, you're going here, but let's pull you back. Let's have a look at it properly and let's push through it together. I think that's, yeah, I highly recommend something like this.
Beautifully said, man. Thank you. Been a pleasure. And just to piggyback on that, I have had my own person that helps me reflect back, like on an ongoing basis, like indefinite. I have an indefinite coach, mentor, like elderly figure in my life that literally serves this purpose for me as well because I can't see all of my blind spots. I can't differentiate between all of these voices and negative programming just on my own. Like having somebody there who can call out your bullshit, reflect back to you what you're saying, how you're showing up, all these things. I mean, anyways, it's a thing that helps a lot, right? So, amazing, Alan. Thanks for sharing. We'll cut it there, and I'm sure anybody watching this will find this, really valuable, hopefully. So, thanks a lot again,
Yeah, I
Alan.
hope so. No worries.